Hello comic book fans, this is your host, Travis Collins, aka Duck Punch, and I'm back for another episode of Duck Punch Comics, here to review 4 more books that came out on September 22nd, 2010. Tonight we're taking a look at Shadowland, Moon Knight, number 2 of 3, Justice League of America, number 49, Power Girl, number 16, and Secret Avengers, number 5. Now, you guys know the drill by now. We jump straight to our reviews with Shadowland, Moon Knight, number 2 of 3. Written by Greg Hurwitz, with artwork by Bong Dazo. Now, by now, everyone knows that I have been less than enthused with a lot of the things that have come out of Shadowland. But I was really taken with the last issue of Moon Knight's tie-in. But this was a really, really bizarre issue. And not in a good bizarre or the character is losing his mind so we're all along for the ride kind of bizarre. This was just weird. Now Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, is joining in on the attack by Luke Cage and friends on Daredevil and the Hand, only to be warned by the lingering presence of Khonshu, the god of vengeance, that the demon inhabiting Daredevil is far too strong and that he will need a special weapon to kill him. Mark returns home to find his pregnant girlfriend Marlene has been savagely attacked by a new threat calling himself the Shadow Knight. Mooney then goes on the hunt and quickly proves himself to be the stronger knight, but there's a surprise twist at the end that sends our hero reeling. I'm really not sure what it is about this issue, but I found myself flipping pages and running back to the first issue of this tie-in trying to keep up. Hurwitz's story moved at such a fast clip, and with so many radical shifts in location and characters, that it is really, really difficult to keep up with. Add to that the ending is really, really weak, and I have to say that I was very much let down. Dazo is... well, the art stinks. Sorry, but this is terrible. Khonshu looks stupid. And during the fight between the two knights, I couldn't tell who was who. This was really poor artwork. Bottom line, this is just another letdown from Shadowland. I'd say I can't wait for it to be over, but from the announcements regarding the future of the characters involved in it, that may not be something I can really just say yet. Ugh, bad. Next up, Justice League of America, number 49, written by James Robinson, with art by Pal Rodrigues. Now, I haven't been exactly a huge fan of the Justice League ever, and even with my limited experience with the title, I've always thought this particular team is just really, really weird. But with all that being said, this wasn't half bad. Donna Troy and Jade visit Alcatraz and an old Teen Titans villain called the Boogeyman, who has a score to settle with Donna from way back when. Meanwhile, Batman and Supergirl spend some quality time and look back at the things they've gained and lost over the last year. In terms of story, Robinson's work here is pretty simple. This is an issue about moving on, and given this particular team's makeup, it seems appropriate to put a nice little bow on all the old baggage. But I do think that Robinson does a great job of not beating us over the head with it. He works it all into the story pretty well, and I gotta commend him for it. Roderick does some decent work here, but with this being a very exposition-heavy issue, it's kind of hard to gauge him, especially since I've never even heard of him before. This wasn't groundbreaking or especially moving or any of that. It was just... well, it was good. I mean, it was a nice comic. Short, quick, straight to the point. It was just good. I mean, there's not much else to say about it. That's something I am going to talk about a little bit in depth. Power Girl number 16, written by Judd Winnick, with art by Sami Basri. If you've been watching this show for very long, you know that Power Girl is my favorite DC book right now. Maybe my favorite comic book right now. You also know that I've really enjoyed the new direction under Judd Winnick since it started about 4 months ago. So with all that out of the way, let me say that when I finished reading this issue, I was really disappointed. Karen returns to her job only to be confronted by her employee Nico, who has figured out her secret identity as Power Girl. While dealing with that, she is able to track down the woman who allegedly robbed her company of all of its assets, only to find that she has been murdered. The issue ends with an alliance being made and a new mission being undertaken by Power Girl and her, I guess, sidekick, for lack of a better word. The last few issues of Power Girl showed that Judd Winnick could balance Power Girl's serious side with her humorous, tongue-in-cheek side. But here we only got the tough chick version, which he then proceeds to overplay. But the biggest gripe I have here is that the whole thing just felt like a setup for the last couple of pages. While I have no problem with an issue having a definite purpose, having reread it, the last pages were definitely telegraphed. Ugh. Basri, however, continues to do my heart good. I really love his work, and he just gets better and better. While I won't say that this issue sucked, it wasn't that good either. Still, as a fan of both the character and the writer, I'm going to stick through this, and hopefully the next issue will fix some of the problems. But I expect better from this book. Much, much better. Last up tonight, Secret Avengers number 5, written by Ed Brubaker with artwork by, check it out now, David Aja, Michael Lark, and Stefano Gaudiano. Wow. This issue just came out of nowhere. I mean, seriously, just when I thought this was going to go in one direction, Brubaker and company went completely other way. Holy crap, this was awesome. Now, this issue deals with the involvement of Nick Fury with the mysterious Shadow Council that Steve Rogers and his team fought in the first 4 issues of this series. I won't say too much more than that, because it will spoil things. But what we all thought we saw was only half the story. And as the last page reveals, there is way more on the horizon. It's going to be bad. Now, Brubaker has been on such a roll lately. Between this book, which I think is the strongest of the Avengers titles, Captain America, which is back to being a must-read, and Steve Rogers' Super Soldier, he is really throwing out some phenomenal work. The only complaint I'll make, though, it's kind of like Astonishing X-Men Xenogenesis. This is a very continuity-heavy book. He does a better job of explaining things than Ellis did. But again, if you're not really familiar with especially Steve Rogers and Nick Fury's history, then you're going to maybe be a little bit lost. But again, Brubaker's just fantastic. So he really pulls it off. If only we could get him back writing Iron Fist. Ugh. Aja, Lark, and Gaudiano are a great team. The art here is a little jarring from Diodato's work in the first 4 issues, but it works well and fits the noir espionage feel of the story. Just outstanding stuff. This was a great read. In a week that has been a lot of meh, I can't wait to see what happens next. So there you go, guys. 4 books down. 4 more to go tomorrow. As always, leave comments. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.